I will present two topics, how to write impactful policy documents and how to organize events that actually influence decision makers. Let me just share my screen. Okay, a second. I hope that you can see the presentation. That's okay. So basically, when we start planning for a future policy brief or a report or any document we want to present to any target group, we should understand our audience. And I see this is already happening very successfully in all the three projects that you presented. You uh, understand who are the key important public institutions, civil society organizations, who are the mayors, who are the main players, who are the investigative journalists that you can work with. So you identify them at the beginning of this process. And you set the tone. If it's for one target group, it should be more professional, for another one, more journalistic. This is also clarified at the beginning of this process. Then, what we usually do at least here in CSD, we prepare a concept or technical specifications for the policy document. This is like an internal document that explains what are the objectives of the future report, whom we want to influence, how we want to influence them. Should we present new statistical data? Should we present new cases? Should we analyze court decisions? Should we do an interview and present the findings and summary of what people tell us during the interviews? Should we use ChatGPT? Should we use some other sort of tools? Maybe we will use Wayback Machine. Maybe we will use Google Images and History to see, let's say, environmental corruption, how a lake has been polluted or how a palace has been built on Natura 2000 land. And then these technical specifications or internal concept for the future report are usually shared with our internal team, because usually not only one person writes the report, but several people from your organization. And also, if you have project partners and you work with other people, it's shared with them so that it's clear what we want to achieve, what will be, let's say, the footnotes, the reference style, and how the work will be split in writing this document. And this is, you can see on the screen, just an example how such internal documents look like. What is the structure of the document, introduction, first chapter, second chapter, how long it will be, what are the research questions that each chapter and section should answer, and what sources and data will be using as evidence. We can also include some tables with statistical data that we want to fill in. If we have partners in other countries, we can ask them to fill in this table with statistical data for their country, and then we, as authors, make a comparison. And it's important to give definitions of some of the more complex terms that maybe the people that contribute to the writing don't know. This includes, by the way, also interns. If you have students, second year, third year students that help you, or volunteers, we should teach them and provide them with what is politically exposed company. So private company or state-owned enterprise whose decision could be influenced by politically exposed persons who may be in their board or could be connected to this company through familiar or friendship links. So it's important to explain that. And we want to show originality. Of course, we don't want to repeat something that already has been said. So very important here is that we don't allow ChatGPT to influence our thoughts or to influence our opinion. It's not a very good, yes, we need to base our research on multiple sources. We have to provide evidence, but at the end of the day, what we want to say as a message and how we want to say it, it's up to us. It doesn't make sense to put in ChatGPT 10 PDF sources that some other NGO or some international organization has written. Say, make a summary, write policy brief, and work done. Uh, Really, we need to keep thinking for ourselves. Uh, of course, we will use AI to improve the wording, to find some information. But what we are fighting for, this is only we know what is this uh, main main values that we want to uphold. And it's important to just show all the trends and the problems, but in a shorter to the point format, because with the development of social media, AI, politicians are exceptionally busy people. They'll probably read only the first page of your report. That's why we need to be very short. Everybody's scrolling social media. They don't take more than 2 seconds on one image. So we really need to be short in our presentation and then package our report in other formats like blog posts, social media. We already saw example of Instagram post, which was very, very nice. That's what all of us should do. And we need to structure our text in a way that shows what was the problem, why we should engage, uh, how, what was the results of previous efforts to solve the problem and why they were not successful, and what we recommend to be done now. And again, please use the help not just of AI, but of young people, interns. They could become your colleagues, as it was shown in the last presentation. Your intern became an investigative journalist, which is great. I really congratulate you for that. It's also important to keep track of the sources you have used. We usually make an Excel file with the literature review with all the sources, which look like the table you see on the screen. Depending on the topic you are researching, you can put check boxes if a certain issue or subtopic is covered or is not covered in this source, and this greatly help you write the final product. And then figures and bullet lists greatly also help to shorten the information and present the message. And my colleague Brandon already explained how AI can greatly help you to save a lot of work. So it's just help you to select the most important facts from the desktop research and put in your paper, but this should also be your own judgment. Don't leave all the judgments to the AI. And here I have provided some examples what a good and bad AI prompt look like, but I think there are already many tutorials on that topic. Even you can ask AI to write the prompt in a detailed and appropriate way. Brendan mentioned ChatGPT. I like to mention some functionalities of Gemini. There is a button or a functionality called Canvas. if you activate this functionality, a new window will open, and you can see on the right side that the final result of your prompt will appear as text. And here in this text on the right side, you can select certain paragraphs or certain phrases, and you can ask the AI to improve them in certain way, to revise them or to add additional details or to shorten them depending on what you want. And the revisions will appear again on this right side window. You can also use the prompt on the left side, the bottom left side, to again ask for revisions. That's why this will save you a lot of scrolling, because if you use the normal Gemini or ChatGPT mode, every revision will be pasted as a new text. And if you like to check some previous prompt, you have to scroll a lot of up and down. So this canvas mode is, I recommend that you use it. And it's very important that your own expert opinion forms at least half of the text. What I mean is the text that you provide to the policymakers, that they could take note of, that they see something new and innovative that they have never seen before. This will happen only if you provide your own opinion in a way, in a new type of message. If everything is just facts or summaries from previous reports, like the European Commission reports, this will not be interesting to anyone. And as I mentioned, some politicians will read only the first page. That's why we recommend that you put something like a summary or key points on the first page. You can see on the screen an example. Here we have 6 bullets with the most important messages. If a politician read that, we'll be happy that we have achieved some impact, even if they don't read the other 50 pages of the report. And of course, it's important to use infographics. You can see here on the screen something that I think it's very telling. You know, a picture tells 1,000 words. Here we say between 2014 and 2020, the European Commission has provided 690 million euro for rule of law advancement under IPA 2. But our survey, the corruption monitoring survey among the population, shows that the bribery levels, including victimization, not just perception, they remain the same, between 20 and 40%. They even increase. So this money has not done its job. And it's important to be more punctual in every sentence that you write. You can see, for example, here some sentences that are not very good. Does anyone want to criticize them, to say why such a sentence should not be put in your text? What's wrong with these two sentences? Anyone? Okay. If there are no volunteers, so basically what is wrong is that there is no citation of the source. It's just a statement without evidence. There is no statistical data to confirm the statement. There are no practical examples or cases to exemplify why this is true. And if you present something like trainings, again, you need to clarify what was the aim of the training, what factors have role in, let's say in this case, appointment and promotion of judges, the experience, participation in training, etc. So all these details are important for the reader to understand the context. And it's also important that you have a balance between too much details and too little details. It should be, your text should be in the middle, as you can see in this example. Also, for footnotes, don't underestimate it, the footnotes, because usually when we write a report, we need to present it in a big conference, right? And the conference is tomorrow, and the report is still not printed by the printing house because we have provided the text, but the footnotes are not fixed in our desired citation style. That's why we should not leave the formatting of footnotes for the last minute. We can use Mendeley, Zotero, EndNote, and the Word, MS Word functionalities for inserting footnotes in different formats. And do this while we write the text, not just put a link to the source without anything else. So don't underestimate um, this issue. And it is also good if you have like external experts, like International Advisory Board or some prominent professors or NGOs that you work with, to ask them for feedback on your text before it's published. Or even your boss or your director. So that's why you can send the text and ask for comments inside the text, but you can also send them a feedback matrix and ask them to for short recommendations what could be improved in each chapter. And as I mentioned, it's good to package them in one-pagers, social media posts, so that they don't remain just as 50-page reports, but some shorter formats that people uh, will usually see. You can also use Power BI flow reports to visualize the data, so it's interactive. When you move the mouse, the data also moves, or you select certain years or certain country that interests you, and you see just the statistical data for this country. So this is the first presentation, and let me share the second presentation with you. 1 second. Okay, I hope that you can see now the second presentation. Is it okay? Okay. So the organization of policy events that influence decision makers. Um, I'm very happy to hear that all of the three projects that were presented have ended with meetings with ministers or anti-corruption agencies, and they have ended with the promise that these recommendations from your projects will be implemented in practice. But that's why it's important to keep in contact with these decision makers in the future as well, to see if this really happens, especially a difficult task considering that we have a lot of irregular elections. People change. The person that have promised that they will implement the action plan, let's say, for education, healthcare, municipalities, the person may change, and you may need to do a follow-up meeting with the new person in charge after elections. So that's why these policy events are so important. Of course, they build political will, and during these events, we can present our positions. So it's important to select the correct format of the event. If it's conclusion of a project when you present your final results, of course, it will be a big policy forum with ideally with ministers who are in charge of your topic. With maybe it will be a good idea to include ambassadors of countries that have similar good practices, or there could be ambassadors of countries that are donor countries that could support a follow-up project. Let's say in your case, you have prepared some plans and strategies, but it will be good to secure a follow-up project to implement them in practice, or to monitor how the public authorities are implementing them. But if you're in the middle of your project, or you're doing a follow-up, and even if you don't have a project, but you need to push for these strategies and plans that you produce to be implemented, you can always do a face-to-face meeting, or even we have done, for example, briefings in the parliament. For a certain commission we have, the parliament has commission on finance, on anti-corruption, on such different topics. We go to the parliament and make a presentation. And it could be also public discussion. You mentioned that you did a training with role playing and adult education type of techniques. That's also important, first to understand the needs of the policymakers and the needs of the people. And then jointly form solutions. This is something like we have also done something called World Cafe. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's the idea is that all the participants are in smaller groups of 4 or 6, and they're in friends at a cafe discussing politics. So every person has time to state their own recommendations and opinions in a very Chatham House format, that their opinions are anonymous until they form a final joint decision. Uh, so there are many formats of that could be used. You can also use something like foresight exercises or co-creation, when you discuss different scenarios and what the people think will happen in 5 years, uh, and in that way plan for future risks. And it's important for you to also have either, ideally, if you're a bigger organization, communication department, which is in charge of booking the room, booking simultaneous translators, ordering the banners, the pens, the conference kit with all the folders, hiring a photographer, then writing a press release, information for the media, inviting the media, then preparing the social media posts. Or if not, we just do it internally and split this work among the colleagues. And this ideally should start 2 to 3 months before the event, especially for bigger events where high-level people should be invited and they have busy schedules, and there needs to be approached with official letters. And what else? Then we have something like a small checklist, what needs to be done before each event. You can see a simplified version on the screen. The agenda is usually developed with a concept note. So again, similar to the concept for writing a report, we write a concept for the future event, what we want to achieve, whom we want to approach, what topics and issues we would like to discuss, and how they will be structured in a session or panels. So what will be the topic of each panel, and ideally what type of people we like to have as speakers. And we send this concept and draft agenda with official letters to the highest level speakers at the beginning. And if they refuse, then we have idea for backup speakers that we invite next. So agenda is usually revised many, many times since people refuse, new people, or they send a substitute, somebody lower than them, for example. And uh, we set up, of course, the Zoom meeting and prepare the social media posts and media. We send two things to the media. First, we send media advisory, which is something like invitation for the media to participate with a short summary of the event, but without revealing if we'll present like data or a big report. We don't reveal the results from of this data. We will review the results with the press release, which is sent on the date of the event or one day after that. For journalists that we work closely with, we can send the press release with the data and findings in advance, but with embargo, we say, please don't publish it before the actual event. Um, And what we also do is have a personal approach to each high-level speaker. It could be a director of the anti-corruption agency. It could be somebody from the European Commission, DG Just, DG NS. So it was a DG NEAR in the past. It could be an ambassador. It could be somebody else, like very prominent, very famous professor from university, maybe from another country. So we research what are their topics, for example, not just their latest official documents that they posted, but we see on LinkedIn what are the latest messages they posted in the last 2 weeks. And we say, okay, this person is specializing on this topic. And we do a video conference with this speaker and say, please come to our conference. You can present your research that we just saw was published on LinkedIn or your website, but it will fit the topic of our event in that and that way. So please just a little bit tweak your presentation to also fit our topic. And some really high level speakers want us for us to write them the talking points, like presidents, directors. So we write 1 or 2 pages with bullets, what we suggest that they say, and then their staff basically censor them or rewrites them in a way that fits, let's say, a ministry mission, and they finalize their talking points. And that's how we form an agenda which is consistent throughout all the sessions. Uh, and it will be good if it's a hybrid event, so it's people can also watch it. Besides being there in person, they can also watch the event on Zoom. Sometimes the people on Zoom can even ask questions, and there's a specific person from us, from our team, who monitors the Q&A button in Zoom. And if they decide from 10 questions, if there is one interesting question that should be asked to the speaker, and they just take the microphone and ask this one interesting question. And of course, after the event, we have a template how all our website messages, articles should be published. We first explain what is the context, then we explain why this problem is important. Then we provide highlights from selected speakers with it could be with quotes or with summary what each speaker said, and then we have a section what should be done about this problem in the future. And we write thank you emails and follow-up emails to all the speakers. And if we have met during the coffee break potential partners from other organizations, NGOs, universities, we engage with them, and maybe we have an idea for future joint initiative that we can continue working together. So that's our